There was no way George could walk home in deep snow without skis.
I think he likes our snowshoes.
I think he wants to borrow our snowshoes to get to that house.
He probably lives there. I'll give him mine.
Then how do you get home? You can't walk on this snow without them.
Let's pull him home on our sled.
Can't. We're already late and Mom's gonna get worried.
We can't just leave him here.
How about we get ourselves home first and then we'll give the monkey your snowshoes? We live on the other side of the hill. Climb aboard.
There's that weird noise again.
It's probably kids like us riding sleds a hill or two away. On your marks.
Get set, go! Why didn't we give the monkey the snowshoes on top of the hill? Now he has to walk all the way back up.
I can't think of everything, and a better time to bring that up would have been on top of the hill.
Sorry, monkey.
Later.
Bye, monkey. Bye.
George didn't realize how cold and tired he was till he tried to climb that same hill one more time. About the only thing that kept him going was the joyous hope of Coco. Now George could see what made that sound. A cold, lost pig. George was almost at the top. The pig was way over there. He didn't even know if he could help.
We can't just leave him here.
George wondered how a pig got lost all the way up here, and more importantly, how he was going to get it down. What they needed was a sled.
I'd know that squeal anywhere. It's little Mike. He got out last night before it snowed. He's never even seen snow before. Must have been completely mystified by it. Thank you, George.
I was wondering what took you so long. There's a cup of cocoa inside waiting for you.
Well, see you later.
Okay, take care.
Skiing, sledding, bringing a pig home, then Coco? This was a perfect day to be a monkey. He hoped studying the big clock would show him exactly what to do with the little clock. George was glad that noise had stopped. But maybe it was time to pack up and go home.
That clock has never stopped, ever!
The big clock on the library stopped.
Well, let's go! Wait, Stu. What are we supposed to do?
We're the fire department. We'll figure it out. Mr. Elo, the big clock stopped.
The big library clock that the whole city depends upon?
Yeah.
Oh, that clock has never stopped, ever. We must move like lightning.
He was sure he had all the tools, but George still felt like he was missing something.
Okay, miss, thank you. Please, step outside. I must listen. Whose tools are these? What's a little monkey like you doing in a huge clock like this? Well, would you like me to help you? Okay, and this goes there. Now, you see? What a beautiful clock. Did you make it? I know everything about clocks, but not one thing about understanding monkey. Well, be more careful in the future, eh? Time is a precious thing.
Compass? What have we said about bringing pigeons indoors, George?
Oh, it's all right. Are you showing him my clock? Well, go ahead.
George, how did this heavy metal toolbox get so...
It was nearly time for the annual Firehouse Band concert, so Rescue Squad 86 got together to practice. George couldn't wait to hear the beautiful music.
Don't worry, George. We'll sound better. We're just warming up. All right, let's get started. A 5, a 6, 7, and 8.
George, this practice is for band members only. That's the rule.
A 5, 6, 7, and 8.
If he couldn't play in this band, George would start his own. First, he'd need an instrument.
You can't play with my tuba, George. It's a very delicate instrument.
Have a good practice?
Great. You don't want to miss this concert.
The doorman's ring of keys sounded a lot like a tambourine.
I'll start lunch. Do you feel like a Giardino burger, George?
George needed to find something to put all of his keys on so they could jingle in the right way.
Lunch is almost ready, George. Have you seen the hall closet key anywhere? I know I have a box of old keys that I don't use anymore. You can play with them.
George realized there were musical sounds everywhere.
Do you want to make instruments with the recycling, too? I think you have enough for an orchestra here, George.
George and the man with the yellow hat washed his future instruments.
I don't think so, George. Those are the lids for my best pots.
George wasn't sure what instruments he was making, but he knew what he liked.
But those aren't monsters. You see? They're the same things in the dark as they are in the light. Your imagination got the best of you, George. But you know what? I have something to make you feel better. Your own personal nightlight. Now you'll never be afraid in the dark. All right, good night, George. Bad news, George. The storm knocked the power out. Hey, don't worry. We won't be in the dark. I have got my trusty Spelunker Scout's flashlight. Wow, that's funny. I always keep it right here. I know how to handle this old storm. It'll be fun, just like camping out. Right, George?
Camping out in the living room would have been fun. If George had been able to fall asleep.
Well, still no electricity, George. Yep, that last big storm knocked it out for 4 whole days. But don't worry, I know my flashlight is around here somewhere.
George knew he had to get that flashlight back if he wanted to sleep tonight. But the thought of going back to that cave alone was too scary.
Oh, you want those leftover walnuts? Well, help yourself.
George had led Jumpy to the cave. Now he had to get the squirrel to follow him inside. That was easier than he expected. The man with the yellow hat was right. The only scary things in the dark were in George's imagination.
Sorry. I didn't frighten you, did I, George? Oh, couldn't make it home before the rain, so I came in here. Oh, and I found this. Want it? I've been exploring this cave since I was a boy. Come on, I'll show you around.
That night, the power was restored. But George almost wished it was still out. And so, after a day of spooky shadows and strange shapes and sounds, George found that he never felt so at home as he did right then, in the dark.